When the U.S. president steps out of the car in a foreign capital, smiling and waving, it looks like a simple, relaxed diplomatic greeting. But that brief public appearance is actually the climax of an incredibly expensive, heavily armed logistical operation. To secure a 15-minute walk, the U.S. deploys thousands of personnel, planning 5 months in advance. This coordination for a single person is more complex than the Olympic Games' entire security infrastructure. The moment the president steps off the White House grounds, they become the most heavily targeted individual on Earth. In a foreign city environment, every single open window, blind turn, and dense crowd becomes a chaotic, dangerous variable. The Secret Service does not try to adapt to that foreign environment. They completely overwrite it. And the blueprint for that takeover is drawn up months before wheels ever touch down. It begins inside the West Wing. The National Security Advisor and White House Chief of Staff draft a presidential decision memo. Once signed, the clock starts. A highly specialized advanced survey team is immediately deployed to the host country. Their singular job is to map out every inch of the president's future footprint. They analyze city streets, measuring exact metrics like where the sun will be shining during the motorcade, and ensuring every primary route is exactly 20 minutes or less from a Level 1 trauma center. The local airport must provide a runway exactly 10,800 feet long. Even the local aviation fuel is drawn and shipped back to labs in the U.S. to guarantee it meets the exact chemical standards for the president's plane. The advanced team skips standard event planning. They systematically identify, measure, and neutralize every single physical and chemical variable in a foreign city. With 15 days left, a second team arrives to run live mock drills. They intentionally try to breach local airport security using fake passports and dummy tickets to expose any blind spots. Local authorities lock down the city under U.S. direction. Known criminals are jailed as a precaution. Homeless populations are cleared from the streets. And the airspace is restricted so tightly that flying a kite is treated as a severe security threat. They even control the local wildlife. In places like India, specialized acoustic teams are hired to mimic the sounds of aggressive predators, like langur monkeys, to scare animals away from the outdoor event spaces. 3 days before arrival, massive C-17 Globemaster cargo planes touch down on the tarmac. They unload dismantled Marine One helicopters, explosive-sniffing canine units, and 6.8-ton anti-ram barricades, engineered to stop a truck driving 80 kilometers per hour completely dead in its tracks. They even fly in the Blue Goose, the official presidential podium, custom-built by the Secret Service to function as a ballistic shield against incoming fire. This massive airlift physically transplants White House military capabilities onto foreign soil, bypassing local logistics with a U.S.-controlled defense grid. At T0, the president arrives in a 50-kilometer no-fly zone aboard Air Force One, a flying command center equipped with electronic countermeasures and an onboard hospital. And traveling right beside him is the ultimate contingency plan, a briefcase known as the nuclear football, carrying the authorization codes for a nuclear strike. From the runway, the president enters a 7-layer motorcade. The outer ring consists of local police and pilot cars scanning for obstacles. The inner layers are purely tactical, including watchtower vehicles emitting jamming frequencies and counter-assault teams ready for suppressive fire. At the center sits the beast. A 9,000-kilogram mobile bunker built on a truck chassis. It features 5-inch thick ballistic glass, an independent oxygen supply, and a completely chemically sealed cabin. The president does not drive on foreign streets. He moves inside an isolated, highly fortified microenvironment that happens to be rolling over local asphalt. The final destination is a completely overhauled hotel room. Entire floors are seized, standard windows are replaced with ballistic glass, and independent oxygen lines are rigged into the president's suite. To prevent poisoning, duplicate kitchens are established. They cook the exact same meals simultaneously, with every plate subjected to microbiological lab testing before it reaches the table. They even control biological data. The team brings a dedicated portable toilet. All bodily waste is collected, chemically sealed, and flown back to the United States to prevent foreign intelligence from analyzing the president's health or medications. The moment the diplomatic meetings conclude, the president departs. Within 24 hours, the entire $200 million operation is dismantled, packed into the C-17s, and vanishes. The U.S. president never truly visits a foreign country. Instead, for hundreds of millions of dollars, the government temporarily builds a localized replica of the White House around him, wherever he goes.